Today's video is going to be on different kinds of filtration. This will be like a filtration 101 video for those who are new to the hobby or just trying to decide what kind of filtration they want to run in their tanks. In this room, my snake room, I have a 40 breeder right here and a little 10 gallon over there. In this 40 breeder, I'm using two different kinds. I have two sponge filters back there. We're going to pull one out, the one on the right specifically. We're going to pull it out and show you how to clean those, which you don't have to do very often. And then we also have a C-Chem Tidal up here, which is probably my favorite hang-on back filter. In this tank over here, we're running one large size sponge filter also. The sponge filters are both powered. All of them are powered off these little air pumps. They hardly take any power. They do put a little noise, I'm sure you can hear them, but yeah, you get used to it. Here's a brand new sponge filter. These are by far my favorite. These come from Aquarium Co-op. You're gonna see when I pull this one out right here, that's really dirty. It has the fine holes. I don't believe they do as good of a job, and they definitely seem to clog up more. This one right here from Aquarium Co-op, you can see is super coarse. They seem to work a lot better, and they're green, so they kind of match in, and they have a nice weight on the bottom to hold it down. This one's the large one. I think these are like $11 on Aquarium Co-op. Hands down, my favorite sponge filter. And let's pull one out, and I'll show you a little maintenance on it. All right, we pulled one of them out, and you can tell this one doesn't have the coarse pad. It said it was coarse on Amazon, where I bought this little cheap 3-pack. And it works pretty good, just like you can tell. It gets clogged up a lot more than the coarse one does from Aquarium Co-op. But here's a comparison. You can just tell this one's a lot more fine holes than the new Aquarium Co-op one over here. But all you do to clean these things, it's super simple. And you do this, I mean, you can do this once every few months, depending on the bio load for sure. All you do is put it in some, we siphoned out some aquarium water and just squeeze it. Loosening up all the sediment all through there. Pretty much it. That guy's good to go. All right, see? Pretty clean compared to what it looked like before. Still has a little bit, but I don't like to over clean them either, just in case I don't want to accidentally restart my cycle. But we're gonna throw this in, plug it back in, and that's how easy it is to maintain your sponge filters every couple, 3 months. All right, this is an amazing hang-on back filter. This is made by C-Chem. It's their Tidal series. I'll show you why I like this one a lot. It's got a ton of room back here for extra media. The pump goes inside compared to the AquaClears, so it doesn't. You don't have to fill it up to prime it. It just self-primes. Has a skimmer right here. Your intake down here that can go up and down. Up and down. I like just having it all the way down. And then these knobs right here help restrict the flow or open it all the way up. Let's look at what they look like on the inside. This one's pretty filthy. I've been running it for a few months. So you can see it's dirty. This is just an extra bag of media that I'll throw in here. We'll just put this in the same tank water, rinse it out. So I have 2 bags of media in here, pretty dirty. What I do like about this hang-on back though is it has this feature that the AquaClears don't. It prevents the basket from coming up, this latch right here. So you open it up, you can actually take this whole thing out, which prevents you from having to take this off the tank. I just took it off to show y'all what it looks like. Well, go ahead and take it away. So you can take the basket out if you wanted to maintain it without actually taking the whole filter off. You can just take the basket out like that, undo the hook right here, pull it out, use some siphoned out tank water, and clean it inside the tank, throw it right back in, the basket right back in. In this case, we took the whole thing off. I normally use like 2 different bags of media that I move around different tanks. When I'm cycling new tanks or start something new, I'll put a new one. I'll put one of these older, smaller ones like in one of my new Tidals, and it'll help jumpstart your tank quite a bit. And then you can see this thing's filthy, but This is going to be your mechanical filtration. This is the little sponge that comes with it. I sometimes will also put in pre-filter in there, or use plenty of room. There's so much room. This goes way down. You can do anything you want with these baskets. I normally just throw in the pad it comes with, the sponge it comes with, and a couple bags of media, whether it's the bio balls or these little ceramic ones. All you do is just give it a little rinse-a-roo. Pretty clean. We're gonna do this quick to show you how fast you can maintain these. Throw this back in, nice and blue. That's how it looks like when it comes. You can tell total different. And we got our 2 bags of media out. This is gonna house all your beneficial bacteria. This bag's been floating around. I'm talking like, it's been in so many of my tanks. I throw this around like anytime I throw a new one in. I throw it in there as long as it can fit, and it helps cycle your tank extremely fast. Dirty water. Alright. Pretty clean, could be cleaner, but we're just doing this quick today. Put those back in. We'll latch our basket back down. Put our lid on top. These are cool too because they have, mine rarely goes up, so I clean them every now and then, but like when they're super clogged and filthy, this thing will just slowly go up and it'll get about right there, and then that's when you're supposed to know to clean it. Mine don't normally get up there. I'll see it go up every once in a while, just a little bit, but that's supposed to be your meter on. The water pushes it up to tell you like, oh, it needs to be clean so it can flow a little better. There we go, ready to go back in. All right, we plugged the C-cam back in. You can hear it. The water's a little low, so you can hear the skimmer, but you can see like this thing self-primes without, it self-primes without filling up the back of that thing like you do on the, that you have to do on the aqua clears. That's why it's probably my favorite. I'm gonna turn it off though because I did drop the water level, and when you drop it below that skimmer right there, it starts making a noise. All right, you can tell I moved some stuff around in here, so it's filthy, but give it a little bit and it'll definitely clear this whole tank up pretty fast. Doing a little water change with the Python on this little 10-gallon. I threw these, I had like 3 pairs of 4 females and like 2 males, and you can see they're finally starting to breed these little red swordtails. Super common, but like I just love them. They have so much color. I'll throw them in my turtle tank. They're way too fast for the turtles, but you can see like these little guys are finally breeding a little bit. Here's my 40 breeder super red bristlenose project I've been working on, trying to grow these guys out that I ordered them online. So this tank, you can see I have a sponge filter down there on the right. It's pretty dirty, but I'm not gonna mess with it today, maybe next week. And you have 2 of those C-chem titles up top, and like this tank stays clear, and these fish are filthy, and like this tank always stays clear. So you can tell like sometimes ore filtration not needed, but if you want clear tanks, totally worth it. Another little side note is I use the sponge filters also, so in case we get another power outage here in Texas or bad storm, anytime the power goes out, I can use my generator, bring it in, just get the sponge filters at the very least going quick, and then you know, I could even plug these hang-on backs also, but that's why I put these in there. Also, you can move the sponge filters around and super start tanks and get them cycled really fast when you always just have like a filthy sponge filter sitting in one of your tanks that's been going for like several months. And you'll see, I'll show you up here how dirty these guys are. You can tell. So this one, I was saying earlier, it kind of went up. You can tell it's saying like I probably need to do this soon. This one's almost as high as it can go. I don't think it can go any higher than that. And these guys, you can tell my mystery snails like to come out and lay eggs on the sides of them all the time. But the lid's off. Couple bags. This one has bio balls in it. I think it has a couple other little sponges I cut. I don't know, I got them at different times with different things, but tons of room. Totally use that space for anything. I mean, pack it full. This one over here, see, it's got less stuff in it. I think it just has the original bag and the original sponge in there. I think this is the one I pulled that other filthy bag out that was in the snake room to get that tank cycled a few months back. But you can tell super clear water. You can see that sponge filter. It's the fine, the cheaper ones from Amazon. You can tell it doesn't do as good job, but it's It has a ton of sediment all over it. It needs to be squeezed out probably next week. And on this side over here is a 65 gallon. Same footprint as the 40 breeder. I've had these two Aqua Clear since I got in the hobby probably 4 years ago. They're beasts. They just have they have some cons about them that I don't like, that you have to prime them. Also, their intakes down here, those things, man, they catch my snails all the time. The plants get stuck up in there. They're really good filters, but when you have live plants and like snails, you definitely have to scrape them off every now and then. But I'll show you. They have a little latch up here. You can cut the flow, make it less. You can open it up, make it more. And then what I like about the Sea Chems more than the Aqua Clear, what I showed you earlier, is these baskets, there's no latch to hold them down. It's like these baskets always float up and it'll pack. It's just because there's such a high bio load in this thing. I have to clean it, rinse it out every probably month or so. There's a huge sponge in there I'll get to in a minute, and I'll clean one of these out. I never clean both at the same time because you don't want to accidentally take out too much good bacteria, beneficial bacteria, and recycle your tank. Get your tank uncycled. But you can see, like, I bought these guys. These are just bags of bio balls. They're filthy. And I'll show you, there's a huge sponge down there. But this is the 100-gallon version. I think these are called Aqua Clear 110s. You can get them at PetSmart. Use a coupon on them. They're really good too, but you have to fill these up. And I'll show you in a minute. But like, once you empty one of these to mess with it and maintain it, since the pump's outside of the tank, it can't self-prime without you filling this thing up probably like that far. And it's just an extra step that, like, I really like the titles just because of that. Like, the title, you can just plug it in, it works. This one, once you drain it or drop the water too low on a water change, you have to fill this thing back up with water, and it takes a minute sometimes. You can tell it struggles to get going. They're just built differently. Pumps, one of them, the pump's inside the water, the other one, the pump's outside the water. But we'll take one of these apart in a second, and I'll show you exactly how I maintain one of these. But you can tell, just those two, this doesn't have a sponge filter. Running these two, I mean, it is crystal clear. This tank's always clear. And the only reason it has a little bit right now is because I opened that top up and messed with one of those bags. Like, this tank's always crystal clear just running these two. Definitely over filtration, but I mean, if one of them goes out and you're out of town, the other one should still be working. You just never know. Like, one of these pumps back here could go out and you just maybe be out of town. Next thing you know, like several $100s or even $10 a fish. Fish will all end up dying because, like, they have to have some kind of filtration, keeping the water going, keeping the air going. That's why I run double and triples on every tank, just because I don't have a ton of tanks. I have a few tanks, and like, it's important to me that when I leave out of town, it would have to be something catastrophic to knock out everything. Otherwise, if one thing went out, another filter should still be working and keep the tank cycled while I'm gone until I can come back and figure out what happened. We turned off the one on the left. That's what we're gonna mess with today. So, super easy how to clean these as well. I'm gonna pull out the bag of bio balls, toss them in our water, and then we have this nasty sponge. That's why you want to have a towel out. It's filthy, but you can tell I like this Aqua Clear because it comes with this massive sponge. But you can see, like, it should be white. I'm just gonna get that in. Show you how fast this can be, one-handed. So rinse the bio balls, and we'll just give this thing a few squeezes. You always want to use tank water, otherwise it'll kill all your beneficial bacteria. It's pretty much filter maintenance 101 right there for you. Looks better. So that's quite a bit, but we're just gonna do that for today. Keep it easy. I'm doing it one-handed. Put this guy back in. You can see it has a basket you can take out, but throw this guy back down. See, here's the basket. You could take the whole thing out if you wanted. It just drips everywhere. I normally just get a little setup station right by the tank. And then once you clean this, it also prevents the basket from coming up. Once you clean that the big sponge, prevents that bag from coming up and pushing the lid up. And so you can tell, like, there's so much more room. I can put a whole other bag in here, which I do have one I can stick in here actually. And then it's probably only half full. I've had them totally full before. The more you put in there, the more Once it gets dirty, it'll start pushing the lid up, but I mean, this works perfect. We grab our lid right here, line it back up, ready to go. So like I said before, once it's that empty, it will not get running unless you prime it. One downfall, one con I don't care for about the Aqua Clears, this is why I haven't bought any more. So just take tank water, make sure it's tank water. Fill this guy up. That's probably enough, but we'll put one more. And when you do water changes, I do 50% a week on almost all my tanks, so it drops it underneath the intake, and like you'll have to do this every time. It's another just little quirk about these that like all has to do with that pump right there on the bottom being outside the tank. All right, let's plug back in so you can see it. I guess since the water level's still high and I add that water, it made it super easy to prime. Running good. Since I did mess with it, you can tell I made the water super cloudy, but give it an hour or so, it'll be back to crystal clear once all the stuff from the filter that I messed with settles and gets sucked back into the filter. Do these like once a month, the other one the next month, and that's about all the maintenance. I mean, you can do it one-handed as you just saw. Easy. This is my outdoor 300-gallon stock tank koi pond I made last summer. It only has one little koi, or he's not little, he's about a foot long koi in there still. I'm looking to rehome, but it's gonna eventually be my turtle tank when it warms up. But I'll show you the DIY canister filter I made over here. I really wouldn't trust this thing inside. I mean, it was hard to get not to leak. It took a lot of building, and it could definitely have problems if it decided to crack or something happens. So it's mainly just outdoors. You can see there's the outtake right there. The pond pump is in that bag right there. And this is just a big Rubbermaid trash can. I think it's 40 gallons, 45 gallons. Well, this might be the 35 gallon. I can't really remember. But I'm going to take the net apart, take the cover net off, and I'll show you exactly what kind of maintenance I do about once every 6 months. This thing's super easy. Once you get it going and it works right, very, very easy. All right, we got it all taken apart. Got the net pulled off the top. That's just a golf, like a driving range net I found. It's like a 10 by 10. I hooked it up here to like hang over, kind of like a teepee, and it was supposed to help the fish from jumping out, even though 2 jumped out. But it does help keep the water from getting like leaves and stuff during storms, and from birds, anything else getting in here. But here's the filter itself. So you can see this is pretty much just a massive canister filter. It's a Rubbermaid trash can you can buy with a lid. So I want to explain it, and then I'm going to put the camera up while I clean it so I can do it kind of quick. This takes a little longer. So pretty much you have this bag right here. This has a huge pond pump in it. I put the bag because the fish used to be smaller. You can see like the sediment all gets on the outside of the bag. And the bag, or the pump, pulls water up. It goes into the hole right there that I drilled into the top. It's connected to PVC right here, and then it goes down. You're not going to be able to see this in the video, but I copied a DIY video and made it kind of my own, where like the water comes in here, goes all the way to the bottom, and then there's a T splitting out with 45-degree angled PVC pipe, and it makes the water like go in, spin, come up, and then it exits out here. But before it exits out, it's hard to tell, but there's a bunch of rocks in here holding down all the media. And this thing's full. I mean, it's probably that much full of media. I put a laundry basket in there. This laundry basket holds all the bags. There's bags of lava rock, all kinds of just kitchen sponges, anything. I mean, this thing, if I wanted to start any kind of tank up, I could just come out here, pull out some media, throw it in any tank, and like it'll super cycle. But probably the coolest feature is I wasn't sure how I was gonna do water changes on this thing easily because it's so low to the ground you can't siphon. So I went ahead and I can't even remember how, I found this piece at It's like 3 pieces, but ended up finding a way to make it where like you can just open it up, so you can get one-handed, open it up, and the water comes out here. I throw it out here in my yard or water all my plants. And yeah, it'll just keep running the whole time because this water's coming out the bottom. It just pumps and pumps and pumps. I'll drop this thing like 100, 150 gallons and refill it up every couple weeks. Yeah, I want to put the camera up and then you can watch the process of cleaning it all, putting it back together. I'll set the net back up and it'll be good to go. Okay, we got the filter totally taken apart, meaning there's no media in there. Y'all just saw me in fast forward mode. I dumped all these bags of lava rock, all these cheap sponges I found online. Also, I think this is like cushion pad I just cut to wrap around this tube. And like, I'm gonna rinse it all out, just shuffle it around, get most of it loose, and then we're gonna put it all back in here and build it. So you can tell here, I use the pipe that's coming out of that pump that's in there, goes in. There's a clamp right here. It clamps onto those that PVC pipe, and then you can't see without me taking it all apart, but this basket, it goes through, there's a cut hole in the bottom of this basket, and then I connected pretty much a T at the bottom with 45 angles, so it pretty much spins the water up. So I see there's some more filter right here. There's filter everywhere. That's why this 300 gallon always stays super clear. You can see the koi right there. That's the one left. He's from Next Day Koi. He's really good. He's the one guy that didn't want to jump out and commit suicide on me, but it's a little small for him. He would definitely love a full-size pond if any of y'all have one. But back on this, so we drained it out with that valve at the bottom. We're just gonna rinse all the media, come back in here. I'm gonna place it all back around. I put the lava rock down there first at the very bottom, and then I layer some padding, throw all those sponges in all the cracks, like all the crevices around the edges, just so the water has to flow through something to make its way up and out the 2 PVC pipes and back in there, and then we'll fill it back up. All right, here we go. Let's get it all back together. And here's another canister filter, the FX4. I did a video about the other day about the maintenance on it. This one's probably my favorite indoor filter for sure, canister wise. It's been running great. I wouldn't pick any other canister besides the FX6, the one up. But you can tell like these are amazing. Intake right there, outtake up there. I mean, for 2 turtles and like 60 fish, this water is always crystal clear. All right, a little summary of the whole video. You can do all different kinds of filtration. I mean, I personally have 3 different kinds myself. I have these sponge filters again. You got the awesome hang-on backs that come in different brands. I would definitely go with either the Fluval Aqua Clear or these Tidal these Sea Chem titles, which again are my favorite. And then, yeah, that's about it. Or you can do something outside if you want to do a DIY and totally do any different kind of project or anything. And little bonus, here's some of the other babies. She is not very nice, but that's Nova. Pyro down here. He's an 8-foot boa constrictor. This is Nagini. He's a tree python from Australia. And this is my pride and joy, Guedo. He is a blue-eyed leucistic, all white ball python with like 5 different genes in it. Well, hope y'all enjoyed the video and y'all have a great day.